Well, when are those federal agents going to leave? I want to make sure that, okay, Super Bowl is over and we don't have any sort of impacts in our community.
Now on KRON4 News at 9, Super Bowl 60 fast approaching, and South Bay leaders speaking tonight about the possibility of ICE agents being in the area during the big game.
It's a city-by-city movement. This is a nationwide movement that affects all of us.
Plus, the Bay Area turns out big for anti-ICE demonstrations. Hear their message to the Trump administration.
Our timeline here, we have the Pro Football Hall of Fame is here with their exhibit, our full collection of rings. The Vince Lombardi Trophy will be here.
And the big preparations underway in San Francisco as the Bay Area gears up to host thousands of tourists. KRON4 News at 9 starts right now.
Now, live from the Bay Area's local news station, this is KRON4 News at 9.
San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan says ICE agents will not be conducting immigration arrests during the Super Bowl next week in Santa Clara. That is our top story on KRON4 News at 9, streaming on KRON4 Plus. I'm Dan Thorne.
And I'm Noelle Bello. It's a stark contrast to the fears and claims that ICE agents would be conducting arrests, but some details remain unclear, making many in the migrant community uneasy tonight. KRON4's Jack Mulmud has our top story.
Final preparations are being done here behind me at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, but it's not all fun and games. Many community members here in the South Bay are still fearful of impending ICE arrests, even though the San Jose mayor saying that he spoke with the NFL and says that ICE arrests are not anticipated for the weekend of the Super Bowl.
It's out of the Bay! ICE out of the Bay!
A national day of action across the country against ICE. We saw a huge turnout in Eastside San Jose.
Deserve safety, dignity, and hope.
Home to a large undocumented population. People there preparing for federal agents to show up next week for Super Bowl 60.
Today I met with National Football League as well as the Department of Homeland Security. They did confirm that DHS and other federal agencies will be there. They didn't confirm ICE. I'm still following up with them to see if ICE will in fact be there, but they said that there will not be any form of immigration enforcement conducted during the Super Bowl.
San Jose Council member Peter Ortiz told KRON4 News weeks ago ICE would be at the Super Bowl, but now him and Mayor Matt Mahan say there will be no arrests, but we still don't know how long the federal agents will be here.
That's why my follow-up questions are going to be, okay, well, when are those federal agents going to leave? I want to make sure that, okay, Super Bowl is over and we don't have any sort of impacts in our community.
Ortiz says, though, while there is worry, you shouldn't try to hide.
Visit with family, come to our local business corridors. Please enjoy your life, but do not ever let your guard down.
Protests are lined up for nearly every day next week leading up to the Super Bowl against ICE. Community groups like the Rapid Response Network say they won't let up.
I think there's always an opportunity. ICE is always going to be in our community. We've seen it all year. We've seen it, we're just going to continue to be on high alert and doing what we always do.
And again, there are a large number of demonstrations set to take place throughout the week leading up to the Super Bowl here in the South Bay and elsewhere throughout the Bay Area, all culminating to a large-scale demonstration set for the afternoon of Super Bowl Sunday that'll take place here in Santa Clara outside of Levi's. For now, reporting here in Santa Clara, Jack Mulmud, KRON4 News.
East Bay Congressman Eric Swalwell has introduced a new bill aimed at holding ICE and Border Patrol agents accountable for using excessive force. The ICE Out Act would strip the agents of qualified immunity in cases where a court finds they've violated someone's rights. This would make it easier for victims to sue. Swalwell says the measure is needed because current protections often prevent victims from seeking justice. The bill would also set clear limits on when federal officers can claim immunity and reinforce the right to take legal action against misconduct.
The Justice Department is now leading a federal civil rights investigation into the shooting death of Alex Preddy. That's the Minnesota man killed by federal agents last weekend during a protest in Minneapolis. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche today did not explain why the DOJ decided to open an investigation into his killing, but he did add a similar investigation was not needed for the shooting death of Renee Good. In the meantime, the country continues to respond to those deadly shootings by hitting the streets. Video from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York City. Many calling out from work and school to participate in today's National Day of Action to protest ICE.
Our families, our children, and our neighbors deserve safety.
I want ICE to leave, and I want people to be able to live here without being afraid.
You have a sign or something like that?
Yeah.
What's it say?
It says no justice, no peace, no racist police.
Well, it was the same story here across much of the Bay Area. Hundreds of students walking out of the classroom at San Ramon Valley High in Danville. At San Mateo High, students were out there with horns, signs, and more video shows dozens of students at Pacifica Oceana High holding signs with messages like justice and no ICE.
And in San Francisco, all of these people showed up to Dolores Park, sending a message to the Trump administration that they stand in solidarity with the immigrant community and Minneapolis. As KRON4's Michael Thomas reports, they're demanding changes to federal immigration enforcement.
Thousands of demonstrators filled Dolores Park Friday, part of a nationwide Stop ICE Day of Action. Protests and walkouts happening across the country. The Day of Action is designed to disrupt business as usual with walkouts, boycotts, and marches in solidarity with Minnesota.
And I'm here supporting my fellow Minnesota citizens who are coming together to rise up against this fascist regime.
These protests come after both Alex Preddy and Renee Nicole Good were killed in separate encounters involving federal immigration enforcement agents in Minneapolis. This week, the U.S. Justice Department announced it has opened a federal civil rights investigation into the fatal shooting of Preddy, according to Deputy Attorney General Todd Bland.
We're looking at everything that would shed light on what happened that day and in the days and weeks leading up to what happened.
The demonstrations follow recent arrests of independent journalists, including former CNN anchor Don Lemon, and 3 others taken into federal custody in connection with a protest at a church service earlier this month. The Department of Homeland Security confirming that Lemon has been charged with federal civil rights crimes. Protesters telling me they're hoping today's events spark change.
It's a city-by-city movement. This is a nationwide movement that affects all of us.
In Washington, President Donald Trump and Senate Democrats have reached a last-minute deal to avoid a prolonged government shutdown after the killings of Preddy and Good threatened to derail negotiations over DHS funding. Federal officials, including border czar Tom Homan, say they're working on what they call an eventual, quote, drawdown plan in Minnesota.
Enough people in this country say no, then this will stop.
That's the very latest here in San Francisco. Michael Thomas, KRON4 News.
Well, be sure to stay with KRON4 on air and online as we are going to cover the ongoing conversations surrounding Super Bowl 60, ICE, the Minnesota shootings, and the fallout, of course, protests, and more. You can get the very latest on our website, KRON4.com.
All right, turned out to be a gorgeous Friday around the Bay Area. A lot of sunshine. What a day it was weather-wise. This weekend shaping up not bad either, although a few more high clouds drifting overhead as we head in toward tomorrow. A good start to your day. A little cool to begin with. Let's check out your wake-up weather going early on. We've got numbers in the 40s to start out your day. Some patchy fog showing up in the interior valleys. Partly cloudy, though, as we head toward 8 o'clock in the morning. Then the sun starting to show through a little bit more. Temperatures going to be warming up by 10. In fact, by tomorrow afternoon, we could be talking about highs in the 60s, maybe some low 70s. We'll tell you where coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks a lot happening now. Crews in San Jose are on the scene of a massive fire at a vacant building on Saratoga Avenue near Lawrence Expressway. It broke out just before 5 o'clock this evening. The flames were put out just a short time ago, but firefighters are going to be there throughout the night to ensure it doesn't ignite, of course, putting out those hot spots. The San Jose Fire Department says it had more than 50 firefighters working to put out those flames, which sent heavy smoke billowing over much of the South Bay this evening. No injuries have been reported, but people are being advised to keep away from this area or shelter in place.
We're worried about collapses of the building due to the structural integrity being compromised due to the ferocity of the fire.
Officials are still working to figure out the cause. Anyone with any information on that is being asked to reach out to the San Jose Fire Department.
The Senate has passed a government funding package hours before a partial shutdown was set to begin. The legislation still needs approval by the House before the president can sign it into law. The agreement funds all agencies except the Department of Homeland Security through September. DHS will be temporarily funded for 2 weeks as lawmakers negotiate reforms to immigration enforcement as demanded by Democrats. Democrats are pushing for several reforms, including a ban on masking for ICE officers and an end to roving patrols. Senate Republicans say they're willing to discuss potential changes. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he's hoping the House will vote on the funding package early next week.
In San Francisco, 3 people are recovering tonight after being shot. Police say this happened near Golden Gate Avenue and Laguna Streets around 5 this evening. This is not far from the city's Civic Center. First responders took the victims to a hospital. Still don't know their conditions at this time. This is, of course, an active investigation.
The High Street Bridge in Alameda still not working tonight. This is a video sent to us from a viewer. You can see the bridge in the distance, just still standing up. The bridge has been raised since around 5 o'clock. Police tell us it's unclear when crews will be able to lower it. Police have reached out to the bridge tenders, and we're learning this is caused by some sort of mechanical issue. If you see the raised bridge, scan the QR code there to share your photos and videos with our newsroom and the chance to have them appear on air. There is something rotten in the air over Benicia.
Well, still ahead, what's causing a stinky situation and how long until neighbors can breathe easy again. Plus, some businesses are taking action today, how they're showing support for immigrant communities, one cup of coffee at a time.
But first, with nearly a week to go until the Super Bowl preparations are kicking into high gear, what you need to know before the big game hits Levi's Stadium. That's next on KRON4 News at 9, streaming on KRON4 Plus.